Music builds. Cue announcer. Welcome to the almost daily Doodle with the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo. Wow, I probably just butchered my own brand name. Here we are in my lovely downstairs kitchenette art studio, temporary art studio. I need to find a better space to lay out all those duds. Getting ready to do two things at once. I'm going to make an animatic as I do a photo shoot of the most recent batch of doodles, which are all stacked up right here. Some of them are technically sort of doodles inspired by stuff in these books, but this is all under the edutainment thing. No infringement is intended, and all rights belong to the books, authors, etc., etc., etc. And I love these books, so if I do an episode where I highlight and feature the books, they come strongly recommended from me to you. I'm not going to talk about them right now, but what's the point? The point is I just want to catalog the bits and pieces and also make an animatic that captures a lot of these in the animatic sequence style, even though I failed to capture them every single day. In the first batch, I think I got a video in a little tiny stop motion photo video of every single drawing, and those drawings are all over here, like that lovely robot. He's an awesome dude, and or dudette, I don't know. I need to redo them. I'm going to do a phase 3/4 of the almost daily doodle with the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo is to take these prior drawings, like this lovely landscape, and then retrace them using vellum, and then use like a technique that involves like muscle memory, having like sitting down with just one picture, do a really detailed tracing of it onto vellum, right? Set that aside. Take a little break. Take regular, plain old fashioned, don't sue me, whoever this is, it's not butcher paper. That's slightly better than it's sketchpad level paper, and then do a by memory retrace drawing of it, of each drawing. So that'll be phase 3 and phase 4 as I rework through everything I've ever doodled, plus whatever new doodles, bump, 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 I start doodling every day when I either make tea or my morning mushroom beverage. So there's the two devices I'm going to use to make the animatic sequences, and I guess I'll shoot video over here with this one. So there's 3 shots of me doing it. It'll be great. But this is an exclusive sneak peek, early trailer, like work in progress, because this is just like me updating the second batch of what is essentially still phase 1 of me trying to doodle every day, at least one silly doodle. Like this I doodled once and now I have it, yay. And better or worse, it says what I need it to say, and it may look horrible, but I doodled it. Now I'm going to like maybe redo it completely and or revisit a lot of these, and like the really good ones, like that one's horrible. The really good ones, that one's horrible too. I don't know where the really good ones are, but like this I really love this one. I want to redo it and then make copies of it, make digital copies of it, digital iterations of it, using awesome special effects and like fun watercolor, digital watercolors. but also have like multiple copies of it that I've hand sketched and do the same sort of thing. Like start dicking around with other things and getting into multimedia on an actual piece of vellum or an actual piece of regular paper. Like I'm doing my George Floyd memorial sketch. And this is based off of like the default picture that everyone stole off the internet. And I took that picture. I used it in an overlay in which app did I use? I forget which app I used. It must have either been Photoshop or the new Fresco. And I retraced it. This is not that. This is the net result of that was this. So like I took the photo off the internet and then I like using digital brushes and stuff, I retraced it and then I printed it. And this is a printout of that digital retracing minus the original photo and some cleanup work. I swear I cleaned up the eyes because they didn't turn out right the first time. And I think it's like a photo that I then reprinted, which is why it looks the way it looks. So that's a printing of a sketching that I had done, printed, and lightly sketched over. And then what I did was I took that, put a piece of vellum over it. That's not under there anymore. And then I like resketched that and added some flair and some line artsiness, weirdness. So this is now just like a base, a template. And I want to take this and physically resketch it again onto regular paper and maybe do a couple more vellum copies so that I have some varieties and then tackle them with different media up to, maybe some color pens, maybe some Sharpies, maybe some watercolors, etc. But that's phase 4. Phase 1 I need to finish doing, which is doodling one crazy doodle every day for 90 days, which I'm still sort of in the middle of. Phase 1 and phase 2 can run concurrently. Phase 2 is what happens after I photograph these, which is I'll try to sketch them, retrace them, and have a baseline vellum paper and paper. So I've done this, I've created this system where it's like any sketch that I like that I've already done, I'm going to take it, I'm going to trace it over onto a piece of transparency paper. This is not transparency paper, actually. That would be a different vibe and it would be really hard to draw on. This is proper effing tracing paper, which I got at Michael's, and it's this one right here, tracing paper, which I called vellum. I don't know if maybe it's not made out of vellum anymore. It used to be made out of a material called vellum, whatever that was made out of. And as you can see, it's very translucent. It works really great with a light box if you have one of those. I don't, and I'm not about to start I'm not going to launch a Kickstarter to get a light box, but in theory, this podcast will eventually earn me enough to get myself one, and or this new job that I applied for. Keep your fingers crossed, and if you believe in prayer, genuinely, and you're listening to this now, genuinely, I ask you pray some earnest, help this guy get this job he just put in an application in for. Prayers to whomever, whatever version, and as long as it's not Army Gun Jesus, that's the only one I don't need anybody praying to. Don't pray to that one. Anyways, so this is a thing that I sketched after doing some basic hand memory technique training, and I realized I'm going to do that with anything that I randomly sketch and or anything that I work out as a project. This is one I didn't explain yet. I might as well, since I'm running almost into 10 minutes. My sister, who is my one of two siblings, and no, I don't have a favorite.